Angie Beto, and today Town Square Buzz is visiting with Tracy Rath, who is running for District 2 City Council seat against incumbent Geraldine Keever. Thanks for talking with us today, Tracy.
Thanks for being here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. For those people, our readers who don't know you, tell us a little bit of history.
Okay, my husband Curtis and I moved here in 1987 when we were pregnant with our first daughter, Taryn. From that time, I did the mom thing, stayed home, raised our family, and started a little by little getting involved in the community. First, it was through our church where I was able to, work with preschool. You kind of work where your children are when they're young. Right. And it just expanded to city things. I mean, we have so many nonprofits here. I've volunteered for the Herd Craig where I was a trustee, and so many other things. Got involved in Rotary and was appointed to the MCDC board, and I'm really fortunate that my husband works really hard so that I can volunteer in the community, and it's kind of been my passion always.
Okay. What motivated you to run for city council?
It's interesting. Back in 2003, I was serving on the MCDC board, the McKinney Community Development Corporation board, and was appointed to a subcommittee to do a little project called the historic Collin County Courthouse, now lovingly known as the McKinney Performing Arts Center.
Right.
It really opened my eyes to how things work within the city. I did that project for a year as a volunteer, almost on a full-time basis, and ultimately resigned from my position on the board, and I was given that job through the city as a city employee. So working inside the city with almost every department, it really gave me a love and appreciation for how things work and get done from a city perspective. I was recently appointed to the MCDC board again in 2008, and serving from that board, I got to see that while I've worked so hard to bring about change, to do things in McKinney, the really important decisions in the direction of council, or direction that our city takes, come from a council perspective. It's a good time for our family. Our son is graduating high school this year, and it's a 3-year commitment, and I'm sure what I'm going to be doing the next 3 years, I'll be here and continuing to serve the community. So it was a good time.
So was there any particular thing that persuaded you that now was the right time? Because you are currently the chair of MCDC, and that would require resigning that chair if you do win this election. So was there one particular thing or incident that persuaded you that now is the right time for you to run?
I think my experience in pulling people together and moving things forward really kind of spurred me on. There have been lots of instances over my volunteer career that I've been able to do that, to pull groups together and move McKinney forward. And I just felt like, again, because of our family situation, it was a really good time. But I felt like my skill set in doing that would be really beneficial to council. I sit in those meetings week after week. Certainly from an MCDC perspective, I understand quality of life issues. I sit there and I watch, and I've thought so many times, I know the answer to that, or I would have maybe done that a little bit differently. And because of my long history of volunteerism, I feel like my heart is to serve the community, and I could bring that kind of servant heart to City Council.
So if I were to ask you, what makes Tracy Rath tick? What would your answer be?
A lot of stuff going on at one time. I love a project.
The ultimate multitasker, is that it?
I'm a little OCD about organization. I'm perfectly organized. You could walk into my office now, and really with my laptop and a few binders, I've got probably 10 different committees, boards, things that I'm volunteering in. I don't like paper, so I try to keep everything in my laptop. I love to volunteer and serve. It's pretty funny. My 30th year high school reunion is coming up, so those dreaded high school photos are now appearing on Facebook.
Right.
And even then, I laugh at someone who posted my senior picture of how much I did in high school. Friends that have known me forever laugh and say, "You're exactly now the way you were then." I love to be involved, and I love this community.
So in that high school yearbook, under your picture, would the description "ultimate volunteer" be appropriate?
It could be, and a little bit of everything. You know, I loved biology, so I was in the biology club, and student council, surprise, surprise, vice president, a couple of different offices there. Yeah, I just love it. I mean, I feel like life is short, and you've got to grab it all while you can. I really try to live each day like it's my last, because it could be. And I don't want to leave anything unsaid or undone, so I always see a sense of urgency to living life and getting things done.
But do you ever get to the point where you feel like you have just reached your limit and one more volunteer position will put you over the top? Or how do you manage all that?
I juggle it. I really, in the last couple of years have learned to say no, because if I can't do it 150%, I don't want to do it. I have to be able to give my all, so I'm really careful about what I commit to. I don't quit on things. When I start something, I finish it. So saying no has been a little difficult, but you know, when you do it a few times and you know that it means the project you've said yes to is going to be done to the best of your ability, it works out great.
You are running against incumbent Geraldine Kiefer, who already occupies the District 2 City Council seat. How much of a larger hurdle do you feel that is, running against the incumbent?
Well, certainly Geraldine's been involved in politics for a while. She served on the school board for, 6-8 years, something like that, and has had her 3 years on council. I mean, we don't know. She's never had an opponent. So, I mean, certainly everyone needs an opponent at some point in their political career, and, you know, why not me?
Sure.
But I certainly know that it's going to be more difficult. But I've never been afraid of a challenge, and it's something that I've wanted to do. I feel like I would be really good at it, so I can live with the challenge of that and possibly losing a lot easier than I can live with never trying.
Absolutely. So if you were to win, what do you feel is the greatest strength you would bring to the council table?
I think my greatest strength is checking my ego at the door, coming in, working with everybody to get the job done, rolling up your sleeves and getting it done. Whether that means getting on the phone and talking to other cities about best practices and what they're doing, much similar to what I've done through the Impact Project, through Stonebridge Ranch Ladies Association, moving a pretty big fashion show downtown, just taking a look at the problem, reviewing it from the perspective of the community, which I feel like I have a good grasp on, I know, best practices in other cities, talking to the expert, and making a decision. I mean, I think that it's really that simple, and then communicating that decision to everyone. I mean, I'm a big believer in the more people that have the information, the better decisions they'll make.
We'll have more on our interview with Tracy as we delve deeper into city issues when we return